first time I tried to run, the rain followed me. Not soft rain. Not the kind that smells like clean earth and cool leaves. This rain was angry. Heavy. Loud. It beat the red dust into my slippers and soaked my wrapper until it clung to my legs like a second skin. I remember thinking, even the sky knows I am not meant to leave. I was 16, and I was already too tired to be a child. My name is Kayamaka Nkiru Okoye. In our house, names were not just sounds. They were commands. Kayamaka, God is beautiful. Nkiru, what is yet to come is greater. My father liked to remind me of that whenever I displeased him. What is yet to come is greater, he would say, tapping his finger against the dining table. So do not destroy it with foolishness. Our house stood at the edge of town, large and proud, painted cream with tall iron gates that never stayed open for long. Inside, everything had rules: how to sit, how to greet, how to laugh, how loud was too loud. My father, Chief Obinna Okoye, was a respected man, a titled elder, a man whose name made people straighten their backs. My mother, Mrs. Eunice Okoye, was softer, quieter, like water that learned how to stay inside a clay pot without spilling. And me? I was the first daughter, the one meant to be perfect, the one meant to carry the family's pride on her head like a calabash of palm wine, steady, careful, never dropping a single drop. The day they told me about the marriage, my hands were smelling of onions. I had been in the kitchen, slicing and wiping my eyes, when my mother called my name. Kayamaka, come. Her voice had that tightness in it. The one that meant something serious was waiting. I washed my hands, dried them slowly. When I entered the living room, my father was already seated. He did not ask me to sit. Your uncle from Nui came yesterday, he said. I nodded. I had seen the parked car. I had heard the low voices late into the night. There is a family, my father continued, who has shown interest. My heart began to beat in a way that felt wrong. Interest? I asked. My mother looked at the floor. My father's eyes were steady. Hard. They want your hand in marriage. The room did not move, but I felt like I was sinking. I'm still in school, I whispered. You will continue your education, my father said quickly. But as a married woman, I wanted to ask how. I wanted to ask why now. I wanted to ask why me. But my tongue felt heavy. He is a good man, my father said. 34. Established. From a respected family. 34. The number hit me like a slap. I was 16. That night, I cried into my pillow without making a sound. I met Emeka 2 weeks later. Not met, presented. He came with his people, carrying wine and cola nuts, smiling like someone who had already won something. He looked at me the way people look at land they have already bought. You are even more beautiful in person, he said. I said nothing. His laughter was loud, confident. His hand brushed my arm once, and I felt cold all over. That night, I made my first plan to escape. I did not tell anyone. I packed only a small bag, 2 wrappers, 1 blouse, my school books, and the little money I had saved from helping neighbors braid hair. I waited until the house slept. When I stepped outside, the sky crackled. Rain. Still I ran. I did not make it past the junction. My uncle's car headlights caught me like a thief. By morning, the whole house knew. My father did not shout. That was worse. Go and kneel, he said. I knelt from morning until evening. No food. No water. When my legs finally gave way, my mother helped me up, her eyes red. You have shamed us, she whispered. Something inside me broke quietly. 3 months later, I stopped bleeding. At first, I told myself it was stress. Then my breasts began to hurt. Then the sickness came in the mornings. I counted, recounted. My hands shook as I borrowed a test kit from a girl in my class. When the 2 lines appeared, I sat on the bathroom floor and stared until my eyes burned. I did not scream. I did not cry. I felt empty. The father was Afani, a boy from school, a boy who had promised nothing. We had been careful, or so I thought. When I told him, his face went pale. I can't, he said. My parents will kill me. That was the last time I saw him. My mother found out first. She noticed the vomiting, the way my clothes sat differently. She followed me into the bathroom one morning and locked the door. Kayamaka, she said, her voice shaking. Are you pregnant? I looked at her and nodded. She slapped me. Then she cried. Then she held me so tight I could not breathe. You have destroyed everything, she whispered into my hair. My father did not speak to me for 2 days. On the 3rd day, he called a family meeting. I stood in the middle of the living room while elders sat like judges. This is abomination, one of them said. A disgrace, another added. My father's voice was calm. There is only one solution, he said. I already knew. You will remove it. The word remove floated in the air like smoke. I shook my head. No. Silence. My father stood up slowly. You will not ruin this family, he said. We will handle this quietly. I felt something rise inside me. The baby moved. Or maybe it was fear. I won't, I said again. That was the moment they stopped seeing me as a daughter. That night, my mother brought herbs to my room. Drink it, she said, before it's too late. I pushed it away. She knelt. I beg you. I cried. I can't kill it, I said. It's alive. Her face hardened. Then you are dead to us. Before dawn, I left. This time, I did not run. I walked. With no plan. No destination. Only a small notebook in my bag. That was the day I began my diary. Diary entry, day 1. If someone finds this, please know I tried. I am not bad. I am just scared. My baby is inside me. I can feel it when I am quiet. They say I am a disgrace. But this baby did not disgrace me. I am leaving because staying means death. I slept under a shop veranda that first night. The concrete was cold. My stomach hurt. In the morning, hunger woke me. I did not know where I was going. I only knew I could not go back. Days blurred into each other. I begged. I washed plates at roadside joints. I slept wherever night found me. Sometimes I talked to my baby. I will protect you, I whispered. But there were nights I doubted myself. Nights I cried until my chest hurt. I wrote everything. Every insult. Every kindness. Every fear. The diary became my only friend. One evening, as harmattan dust colored the sky, I collapsed near a bus stop. A woman found me. She smelled of smoke and palm oil. My name is Ngozi, she said. Stand up. She took me to her small room. Fed me gari and soup. When she saw my stomach, she did not shout. Life is wicked, she said softly. But you must be stubborn. I stayed with her. Worked at her food stall. Slowly my belly grew. Slowly rumors followed. Sometimes, at night, I dreamed of my father standing at the gate. Other times, I dreamed of blood. I woke up screaming. They say a first daughter carries the family's name. But who carries the first daughter when she falls? My baby kicks now. Strong. I don't know what tomorrow holds. But I am still here. One afternoon, a familiar car passed the stall. My heart stopped. The plate number. My uncle. I turned away, shaking. That night, I packed my things. Left before dawn. Again, the road stretched ahead of me, long and uncertain. The weight of my growing belly pulling at my back and my memories pulling harder at my heart. Each step felt like both escape and punishment. I did not know where I would sleep the next night, or how I would eat, or whether my body would betray me before my courage did. But as I walked, the baby kicked again, slow, steady like a reminder. I placed my hand on my stomach and whispered into the darkness, not knowing who might be listening, not knowing what tomorrow would demand of me, only knowing that something inside me refused to disappear quietly. And somewhere behind me, in a house with tall gates and unsaid regrets, my name was still being spoken in low, angry voices. While ahead of me, a future waited, unfinished, watching, and far from done. I walked until my legs began to shake. Not the soft shaking of tired muscles, but the deep trembling that starts inside the bones, like something is loosening there. Each step sent a dull ache up my spine. My slippers had torn at the sides, and the red earth burned the soles of my feet, but I did not stop. Stopping felt like turning back, and turning back felt like dying. The sky was already darkening when I reached the outskirts of another town, one I did not know the name of. The air smelled different here. Less dust, more smoke and rotten fruit. Somewhere, a generator coughed and roared. Children laughed in the distance. Life continued, careless of my pain. I found a half-built house and sat on a block, pressing my back against cold cement. My stomach tightened suddenly. I gasped and bent forward. Please, I whispered, not sure who I was talking to. Not now. The pain eased after a moment, leaving fear behind like sweat on my skin. That night, I did not sleep. I listened to rats scratching, to the wind sliding through broken windows, to my own breathing, too fast, too loud. I thought of my mother's hands, how they used to braid my hair slowly on Sunday mornings. I thought of my father's voice reading prayers before meals. I wondered if they slept peacefully, knowing I was somewhere outside their walls, carrying something they wanted erased. I pulled out my diary. My fingers were shaking. I am afraid tonight. My body feels weak. My baby moved earlier, but now everything is quiet. I keep thinking, What if I was wrong to run? What if I am not strong enough? But when I imagine going back, my chest closes. If I die here, at least I tried. Morning came quietly. A woman selling boiled corn passed by and stared at me for a long time. "Are you sick?" she asked. I shook my head. "You are pregnant," she said flatly. "And alone." She did not ask how. She did not ask why. She handed me a corn. "Eat," she said. "Pregnancy does not wait for pity." I thanked her until my voice broke. I found work cleaning a small church compound. The pastor, Pastor Chikwudi, was a tall man with tired eyes. His wife barely looked at me. "You can sleep behind the church," she said. But no trouble. Behind the church was a small store, smelling of old hymn books and dust. I spread cardboard on the floor and called it home. Each morning I swept. I fetched water. I scrubbed toilets until my back screamed. People stared at my belly. Some whispered. Some shook their heads. One woman said loudly, "These girls of nowadays." I kept my eyes down. At night I wrote. I clean God's house during the day, but I don't know if God is cleaning space for me anywhere. Sometimes I talk to my baby and apologize. I say, "I am sorry I could not give you a better beginning." Then the baby kicks and I cry. One evening, as I was washing my clothes near the tap, blood stained the water. Just a little, but enough. My heart pounded so loudly I could hear it in my ears. I pressed my thighs together, breathing hard. "No," I whispered. "No, no, no." The pastor's wife saw my face and frowned. "You are bleeding?" I nodded. She clicked her tongue. "You should go to the clinic." I laughed, a dry, broken sound. "With what money?" She sighed, irritated, then reached into her purse and pulled out some notes. "Go," she said, "but don't bring problems here." At the clinic, the nurse looked at me with tired eyes. "How old are you?" 16. She sucked her teeth. "Where is your mother?" I said nothing. They examined me quickly. "Stress," the nurse said. "Malnutrition. You are pushing your body too hard." She looked at my stomach. "You want to keep this baby?" I nodded. She studied my face for a long moment. "Then you must fight," she said quietly. The fighting became harder as my body grew heavier. Some nights, hunger twisted my stomach so badly I thought it would tear open. Other nights, memories attacked me. I dreamed of my father calling my name, not in anger, but softly. I dreamed of my mother placing food in front of me, then pulling it away. Sometimes I dreamed of Emeka. In the dream, he stood far away, holding another woman's hand, pretending not to see me bleeding on the ground. I woke up screaming. The pastor's wife warned me. "Don't disturb the peace here," she said. I packed again. I ended up in a crowded compound where 10 families shared one bathroom. The woman I stayed with was called Mama Ifyinanya. She sold second-hand clothes. "You can help me sort bales," she said, "and sleep here." The room was hot, loud, alive. At night, babies cried. Couples argued. Radios played sermons and high-life music at the same time. But for the first time in weeks, I did not feel invisible. Mama Ifyinanya talked a lot. "One day I will travel," she said. "This country will not finish me." She looked at my belly. "Who is the father?" I shrugged. She nodded. "Men," she said simply. It was there my waters almost broke. Pain sliced through me while I was lifting a bale. I dropped to my knees. Women rushed around me. "Not yet," Mama Ifyinanya said after checking. But soon. Fear wrapped itself around my heart like rope. I was still a child. I had never held a newborn. How would I give birth? Where? Who would help me? That night, I rode until my hand hurt. I am terrified. Sometimes I touch my stomach and beg the baby to wait. Other times I beg the baby to hurry. I don't know which fear is bigger, giving birth or being alone afterward. If I die, who will love you? Labor started at night. Slow, cruel. Pain rolled through me like waves, each one stronger than the last. Mama Ifyinanya held my hand as we walked to a nearby maternity home. I screamed. I begged. I promised God everything. Hours passed, or maybe days. Time lost meaning. At some point, everything blurred into heat and blood and fear. Then, a cry. Thin, sharp, alive. They placed the baby on my chest. A girl. Tiny, warm. Her eyes were closed, but her mouth moved like she was searching for something. I laughed and cried at the same time. "My baby," I whispered. They discharged me 2 days later. No celebration, no visitors, just Mama Ifyinanya carrying my bag and me holding a life that depended on me completely. I named her Nkiru because I wanted to believe. She is here. She is small, but she is mine. When she cries, my heart jumps out of my chest. I am afraid of failing her, but I am more afraid of losing her. Motherhood did not soften the world. People stared harder now. Landlords complained. Work became scarce. Sometimes Nkiru cried from hunger, and I cried with her. I thought of my mother's kitchen, the smell of soup, the sound of plates. I wondered if my parents ever thought of me, or if they had buried my name like a shameful secret. Then one afternoon, a familiar voice called my name. Kayamika? I turned slowly. My uncle stood there, staring at my baby. At me. His face changed, shock, anger, something else I could not name. You have gone very far, he said. My knees weakened. How did you find me? I whispered. He did not answer. Pack your things, he said. Your father wants to see you. Fear flooded me. I looked at Nkiru's face, at her tiny fingers wrapped around mine. And for the first time since I ran away, I wondered, had my escape truly ended? Or was it only beginning? I pulled my diary closer to my chest as the sun dipped low, shadows stretching across the compound like long fingers reaching for us, and I knew, deep in my bones, that whatever waited for me back home was not forgiveness, and the story of me and my daughter was still unfolding, heavy with secrets, regret, and choices that would soon demand their price. My uncle did not raise his voice. That scared me more than shouting ever could. Pack your things, he repeated, his eyes fixed on Nkiru. We are going home. The word home tasted bitter in my mouth. Women in the compound had stopped what they were doing. Someone whispered my name. Someone else shook her head slowly, like she had been expecting this moment all along. I hugged Nkiru tighter. I can't, I said. My uncle's jaw tightened. You think you have a choice? He asked. Your father has endured enough shame. Shame. The word landed on my chest like a stone. Mama Ifunanya stepped forward. She just gave birth, she said. At least give her time. My uncle looked at her like she was dust. This is family matter, he said. Stay out of it. He turned back to me. If you don't come quietly, he said, lowering his voice, we will come back with others. I looked down at my baby. Her eyes were open now. Dark. Calm. She looked at me like she already trusted me with her whole life. I nodded. The car ride was silent. Nkiru slept in my arms, unaware that she was being carried toward the very place I had run from. Every mile felt like a step backward into a hole I had barely crawled out of. I watched trees blur past and wondered if my mother would look at my child with love or with disgust. When the gates opened, my stomach dropped. Nothing had changed. The same cream walls, the same iron gate, the same neat compound. But I had changed. I stepped out slowly. My father was waiting on the veranda. He did not move. He did not smile. He looked at Nkiru, then at me. So, he said, you came back with evidence. Something inside me snapped. This is my child, I said. Not evidence. His eyes flashed. You will keep quiet in this house, he said. My mother stood behind him. She did not step forward. She did not step back. Her eyes went to the baby, then away, like looking too long would burn her. They gave me my old room. Nothing inside had changed. My school books were still stacked neatly. My bed still smelled faintly of soap. It felt like stepping into a life that had paused without me. That night, my mother came in quietly. She stood by the door. You should not have come back, she said. Tears rose to my eyes. You sent for me. She looked at Nkiru. I did not send for that, she said. The word sliced through me. I turned my face away. She left without another word. The next morning, elders arrived. Men with walking sticks and heavy voices. Women with tight lips. They sat in the living room while I waited outside, Nkiru strapped to my back. I could hear murmurs. She refused abortion. She disgraced us publicly. That child must not stay. My father called me in. I stood before them, my legs shaking. This child cannot remain in this house, one elder said. It will remind us of shame. My heart pounded. She is innocent, I said. She did nothing. Another elder laughed dryly. Innocence does not erase dishonor. My father raised his hand. There are two options, he said. You give the child away quietly, or you leave this house forever. My ears rang. I looked at my mother. She stared at the floor. I looked at my father. He looked past me. I hugged Nkiru. I will leave, I said. A sharp breath escaped someone in the room. So be it, my father said. From today, you are no longer my daughter. Something inside my chest collapsed. They gave me one night to pack. One night under the roof where I had grown up, now a stranger. That night, my mother came again. She sat on the bed. For a long time, she said nothing. Then she reached out and touched Nkira's cheek. The baby smiled. My mother's breath hitched. "She looks like you," she whispered. Tears rolled down her face before she could stop them. "They will never forgive you," she said. "And neither will they forgive me if I help you." I swallowed. "I don't need forgiveness," I said. "I need to live." She nodded slowly. When she left, she placed money under my pillow. I cried until my chest hurt. I left before dawn. Again. This time, no rain followed me. Just silence. I did not look back. Life with a baby on the road was heavier. Beggars avoided me. Landlords turned me away. But sometimes people surprised me. A woman at the market let me sleep under her stall. A bus conductor gave me a free ride. A stranger bought me bread without asking questions. I learned to accept kindness without explanation. Nkira grew. She laughed. Her laughter was the only sound that made the world feel less cruel. She laughs when I sing, even when my voice cracks, even when there is no food. Maybe she does not know this world yet. I pray she never learns it the hard way. One evening, as I was washing clothes by a river, a woman sat beside me. She wore a nurse's uniform. "You look tired," she said. I laughed softly. "I am." She watched me rinse soap from fabric. "Come to the clinic tomorrow," she said. "We need cleaners." That was how I found stability. Small, fragile, but real. I cleaned floors. I held crying babies while their mothers rested. I learned how to wrap newborns properly. Sometimes I imagined my life had turned differently. Sometimes I imagined my father hearing Nkira's laughter. Sometimes I imagined forgiveness. One afternoon, while sweeping the clinic corridor, I overheard a familiar name. "Okoye," a man said. "Chief Okoye." My hand froze. "He is sick," the nurse replied. "Very sick." My heart stuttered. I stood there long after they walked away. That night, I could not sleep. I watched Nkira breathe. Slow, steady. I wondered what sickness did to pride. I wondered if death softened anger. I wondered if my absence still hurt, or if it had already been buried. I heard my father is ill. I don't know what I feel. I thought I would feel joy. I thought I would feel nothing. But I feel unfinished. The days passed, heavy with questions. Should I go back? Should I stay away forever? Would my presence bring healing, or more wounds? One evening, as the sun melted into the earth and the air filled with smoke and evening prayers, Nkira stirred in my arms and gripped my finger tightly, as if reminding me that whatever choice I made next would not be mine alone. I opened my diary, the pages worn and soft now, and stared at the empty space waiting for the next words, knowing that the story between me and the family I left behind was not done with me yet, and that something was already moving quietly toward us. I did not go back immediately after I heard my father was sick. I told myself it was because of Nkira, because of work, because of fear, but the truth was simpler and harder to admit. I did not know who I would become if I returned. The girl who once knelt from morning till night? Or the woman who had learned how to survive hunger, shame, and loneliness? That night, rain fell again. Not the angry rain from the day I first ran. This one was slow, gentle, like the sky was thinking carefully before touching the earth. I held Nkira close and whispered, "Your grandfather may be dying." She did not understand the words, but she placed her small palm on my chest, and for the first time in a long while, my breathing slowed. 2 days later, a message came. My cousin Uche found me at the clinic. "Your father collapsed," he said. "He keeps calling your name." The broom slipped from my hand. My chest tightened. "He did?" I asked. Uche nodded. "He thinks he is seeing things. He keeps saying, 'Kayamika, my daughter.'" I sat down slowly. For years, I had imagined this moment. I had imagined anger. I had imagined satisfaction. What I felt instead was grief. Raw, confusing, heavy. I looked at Nkira, sleeping peacefully against my shoulder. "I will come," I said. The house felt smaller when I returned. Quieter, like it was holding its breath. My mother met me at the door. She looked thinner, older. Her eyes fell on Nkira. Then she reached out and took the baby from me without asking. Nkira laughed. My mother froze. The sound cracked something open in her. She pressed the baby to her chest and sobbed. "I am sorry," she whispered. "I am so sorry." I did not speak. Some apologies come too late to answer easily. My father lay on the bed, weak and shrunken. The man who once filled rooms with his presence now struggled to lift his head. When he saw me, tears rolled down his face. Kayamika, he said. Is that you? I stepped closer. Yes, Papa. His eyes moved to Nkiru. His lips trembled. My granddaughter? He asked. I nodded. He cried like a child. They lied to me, he whispered. They said shame would kill us. But it was pride. I held his hand. For a long time we said nothing. Then he squeezed my fingers weakly. Forgive me, he said. I did not answer immediately. Forgiveness is not a switch. It is a journey. But I said, rest. He died 3 days later. At the funeral, people whispered again. But this time I stood tall. Nkiru on my back. My diary in my bag. I did not bow my head in shame. I bowed it in grief. Some women looked at me differently. Not with judgment. With understanding. After the burial, an elder approached me. You are strong, he said. Stronger than we knew. I smiled sadly. I had no choice. I did not move back into the house. But I did not run again. I stayed nearby. My mother visits often now. She plays with Nkiru. She laughs. Sometimes she cries. We are learning each other again. Slowly, carefully, like touching old wounds without tearing them open. I was called a disgrace. But I did not disappear. I carried life when they asked me to carry shame. I learned that tradition without mercy is cruelty, and honor without love is emptiness. My daughter will know where she came from, but she will never believe she is a mistake. Sometimes the greatest disgrace is not pregnancy, poverty, or mistakes. Sometimes the greatest disgrace is choosing pride over compassion. A society that protects its image more than its children is already broken. But this is not the end, because growing up without a father, being raised by a mother the world once rejected, and returning one day to face a family legacy built on silence, those stories are still waiting to be told. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of someone you know, if it made you think, cry, or feel seen, please like this video, subscribe for more emotional African stories, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Your support keeps these stories alive. And remember, every child deserves love. Every mother deserves mercy. And no diary is ever written in vain.